The Chicago Bears have a golden opportunity standing at their front door, but they'll probably squander it because that's what the history of the organization tells us they will do. So let's talk about it. What's up, people? Welcome to the Bears Yard, home of opinionated Chicago Bears talk. This your boy Vipe, and we got to get into the opportunity that lays before the Chicago Bears feet right now. So we all know that Matt Eberflus is dead man walking. He will be fired in January, but we all know they should do it on Friday of this week, but we know they won't. But the opportunity that is sitting at the feet of the Chicago Bears lies in their current offensive coordinator, Thomas Brown. Now, I hear the rumblings out there, y'all like, Thomas Brown, he's only an offensive coordinator. It's only been 2 games, blah, 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 blah. Listen, we know what Matt Eberflus is. He is a terrible head coach. He is the worst situational football coach I have ever seen in my life. You have ever seen in your life. I don't even know why he's employed. Actually, if you listen to current reports, we know why he's employed. Even the Chicago Bears higher up want him gone. But the reason why Eberflus is still there is because of Ryan Poles. I'll get to him in another video. But we know who Matt Eberflus is. So, the man is 14-31 in his Chicago Bears tenure. He has blown more late games than I can even shake a feather at. The dude is inept. He's incompetent. I'm pretty sure he is a genuinely nice human being. But as a football coach, he is atrocious. He's egregious. The players are out there looking at him like he's Drake. They're like Kendrick Lamar. He's not like us. You got players actually calling him out. Not directly, of course, because that's not professional. But indirectly, Jalen Johnson, Cole Kmet, DeAndre Swift, others have called out some of the practice habits of the Chicago Bears and how there is a lack of attention to detail in the way that the Bears are running their weekly practices. And who does that fall on, people? The head coach, Matt Eberflus. So, we know who Matt Eberflus is. Enter Thomas Brown. Now, again, it's only been 2 games, so we can't get too overly excited, but I can, and that's why I'm here. Already, after 2 games, the offense looks a lot better. The players look a lot more inspired because for the last few weeks, they looked like they were quitting on the team. But in the last 2 games, they look re-inspired since we made the change at offensive coordinator. Caleb Williams talked about how Thomas Brown has an aura about him. And there's just something to having to be a leader of men if you want a successful football team. We are talking about grown men with families trying to put food on their table. They just can't be led by any old body. That's not going to work. You got to have a leader of men in there. You got to have somebody with sustained success who knows how to put their players in the best position to win. Look at Matt LaFleur. Look at Dan Campbell out there. Look at Kevin O'Connell, whatever his name is in Minnesota. Look at Jim Harbaugh. Look at Andy Reid. The men who lead teams. Mike Tomlin, who Thomas Brown reminds me a lot of, only in demeanor. Calm down, y'all. I'm not saying he is Tomlin, but if you listen to Thomas Brown's demeanor, it sounds a lot like Mike Tomlin. But Thomas Brown has already shown in 2 weeks that he has the potential to be a head coach. Now, the main deterrent I've heard online against this is that, that will limit his ability to work with Caleb. Wow. Why? I don't know if you all understand, but Thomas Brown is the offensive coordinator, which means he runs the entire offense. It's not just predicated on Caleb. Caleb has a dedicated handler, if you will. That is Kerry Joseph, the quarterback coach of the Chicago Bears. He is the one who is mainly in charge of the day-to-day ops as it relates to Caleb Williams. Yes, Thomas Brown is involved, but I don't know if Thomas Brown is as involved with Caleb as Kerry Joseph is, given that Kerry Joseph is the quarterback coach. So, if you're worried about Caleb's development being hindered by Brown becoming head coach, I don't know if it will change much, to be honest with you. And if you want to talk about things that are happening on the defense, I'm pretty sure that Thomas Brown could just let Eric Washington handle the defense and just concentrate on the offense. I mean, it can't get any worse than it is right now with Eberflus at the helm. So, what does it hurt? Now, the McCaskies have this thing that they don't fire coaches mid-season for whatever reason. Why? Why? Where do you get off? What is this thing that the McCaskies have where they won't fire anybody mid-season? What will that get you here? Everybody knows. Even Stevie Wonder can see that Matt Eberflus is going to be fired in January. So what difference does it make if you fire him in January as opposed to firing him at the end of the week? It makes no difference. It might boost the morale of your current locker room, who clearly is not vibing with Matt Eberflus. But the McCagneys don't fire people mid-season. But the opportunity that is at your doorstep, George, and the Bears are higher up, is that you can put Thomas Brown in that interim head coach position for the last 5 weeks and see if he has the juice. Because there's what's probably going to happen because the Bears do things the Bears way. They'll keep Eberflus till the end of the year. Then at the end of the year, they're going to fire everybody, Eberflus and the entire staff, including Thomas Brown. Thomas Brown one day is going to be a head coach in this league. He's been all over the NFL. He's been all over college. Hell, when he was on McVay's staff, Sean McVay made him assistant head coach because he thought that much of Thomas Brown. So Thomas Brown has a future in the NFL, and he's going to be a head coach sooner rather than later. So why not see if he can do that for your team, especially considering what Caleb Williams thinks of him. Everybody talks about doing things to maximize Caleb's development. Well, it would seem to me that if you have the opportunity to see if Thomas Brown can be a head coach of the team, no time like the present. Fire Eberflus after the Detroit game, because we're probably going to lose, and put Thomas Brown as the interim head coach and see what he can do. What can it hurt? If you're going to fire him at the end of the season anyway, then you're going to fire him anyway with Eberflus. So why not make him the interim and see if the team responds, maybe go on a little winning streak, and then maybe you could take him seriously and either give him the head coaching gig going forward, or at least give him an interview to see if he lines up. Now, he wouldn't be my first choice, but I certainly would definitely want to give Thomas Brown this interim gig for the next 5 games, and I would definitely give him an interview at the end of the year. My first choice was Ben Johnson, man. Ben Johnson's a beast. He's had sustained success in Detroit, and he's the guy that I would want. But I am looking hard at Thomas Brown because for the last 2 weeks, he and the offense have gone out there and done work against top-tier defenses, not cupcakes like we were beating down late or earlier in the year. He's done it against top-tier defenses. Green Bay, Minnesota, Caleb and the offense have gone out and balled out. Haven't scored the most points in the world, but they've still gone out there and balled out, although they did score 27 on the Vikings. That's a good look. But Thomas Brown is the golden opportunity that lays at the McCaskey and the Bears' feet, and they're probably going to squander it. And it's probably because of Ryan Poles, but I'll get to Ryan Poles in my next video.